Hello folks, I'm back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about something about a street light, remote gear. This is what this is. This is partly what it looks like in a Thorn Beta 2. And that's your instruction label there, the bark label on there. And something about a street light, that this was flagly knocked down by a car crashing into a lamppost, into a street lamp, and this was knocked out on the Thorn Beta 2. The canopy is on top of a Beta 2, and it looked like it's all in a good condition. That just fell out of a Beta 2 street light, and I have tested this. It works completely, so I rather not taking the risk putting power to that, where you'd have your orange wire for your live and blue wire for the neutral and earth. So I rather not taking the risk putting that, rigging it from a plug that way, the opposite way. So I rather put it into I have a spare canopy that I'm going to take it out now. It's this, what I have, a spare canopy I have is this, and with the clip part, the plastic clip part on it, with Thorn Beta 2 with the silver canopy. And I'm gonna get onto this with the spare canopy that I had. I kept these parts and bits and pieces all over the years. I possibly wouldn't throw any of these stuff away because you never know what you come for. So I'd rather do it the other way and put this onto the silver canopy on the Thorn Beta 2. So actually put this on. I'd rather do it the way I do it the safe way, rather taking the risk. So it's such a 55 watt SOX ballast, and this your igniter and your capacitor system. And this here, if you're wondering what this thing here in the middle between ballast, igniter and the capacitor system, this thing here, if you're wondering what this is, so I can explain to you what it is. Now I have to get this other way. If you could read that and put it up to the camera, and I can't put the light down, and this light up here a bit shine down into the camera, because if I do and it's waving onto the camera, it's a bit of a problem. So this here, 220 volts, and 220 volts in from the photocell, from the main 240 volts, they say out on the roads, out in the street, 240 volts maximum AC, higher volt, and on the lower voltage, low volts into the households. The ones out there in the column poles are 240 volts maximum, higher volts runs into this. So the basic thing is, what this thing is, I'm going to explain to you what that is. 220 volts in, and brings the red wire, so it has supposed to be a brown wire and a red wire somewhere. This is a red wire here somewhere. So that was a red wire on that, so the red wire snapped on the output, goes to 240 volts output into the ballast in the igniter and the capacitor system, and into the lamp. So that's what this for. And the neutral goes to that 220 volts. What this thing is, 220 volts, what this thing is. And the same way in the UK, the same way over in the UK, they don't have these things in their Thorn Beta 2s over there, like say in the Beta 5s over there in the UK. But the only ones what we have here in the Republic of Ireland, we have these transformer things, which are ballast and then your igniter and the capacitor. So with the ballast and with the igniter and the capacitor system, this thing here goes from 220 volts and brings the current up to 240 volts into the ballast and capacitor igniter, and then fires up the lamp. So like in the UK, they don't see them in the Thorn Beta 2s and Thorn Beta 5s in the UK. They don't see them things in the ones from the UK, Beta 5s and Beta 2s from the UK. They only have the capacitor system and the igniter and the ballast. And you don't see them ones they have in the UK. The ones in the Republic of Ireland, we have them ones here, and we don't have any Beta 5s here in the Republic of Ireland. because we can't get anywhere, and you can't get beta 2, beta 5 anywhere in the public of Ireland. The only ones we can get beta 2 is 55 or Sox Verges, fitters, 55 or Sox fitters, fixtures. I meant to say, it's 55 or Sox fixtures. So what this is, because it goes from 220 volts and up to 240 volts, but we only use them here in the UK. Don't really need those. I don't think the UK doesn't need them in their beta 2s. We usually use them in their beta 2s for the public of Ireland, because in a household in the public of Ireland we only get about 220 volts and up to 230 volts. It only goes up to 240 volts and drops back down to 220, 219, 218 volts. You know, sometimes it goes down to 215 volts, goes down lower, goes down to 211 volts, 2.6 volts. Because in the UK, the householders in the UK, they only usually they only use 240 volts AC in the households in the UK, but the households in Ireland, in the public of Ireland, we only use 220 volts. Because we don't have much voltage here in Ireland, in the public of Ireland. What the UK might have, they probably have more than us, what the UK has. And because you actually don't see them in their beta 2s over there. We only have them here, because sometimes we don't get enough voltage here in the public of Ireland. So yeah, but even if that's what they put them in, to see what that is, what I'm explaining about this is. It's a transformer, and between ballast and the ballast uniter and the capacitor transformer, that brings what that does, the power action, input power that brings that goes from 220 volts operated up to 240 volts on the output into the ballast and the capacitor system and the igniter. So this is in a good condition, because this was actually knockdown before. This was a knockdown before. So I thought I might do something with this. So I did test this, and this actually does work. So I put a lamp into it. The spare lamp that's down here, because I had to be careful handle one of these, because you might bang off something that could explode anything. Or you can just put your lamp in there like that, and put a lamp like that in there like that. So there's the spare canopy. There's a spare canopy that I would possibly put this on that like that. I have to try to lift this up a bit, because the gearing motor is a bit heavy, and put her in like that. I put that into the spare canopy like that. And the Thorn beta 2 street lamp. So take this out for a minute, and it's back there, and that's the spare canopy I kept all the little bits and pieces I kept down through over the years in my collections. So that's already now, and that's that, and that's how you notice this thing for the transformer thing. That's a little transformer in the middle of this, between these two and the ballast. And you want to know what this is. So thanks for watching anyway. I'll see you up in the next one, and bye for now.